Hello, and welcome back, my fellow troglodytes. If you don't know me, my name's Haym, and this here is my 1991 Nissan S13. And before we go anywhere, before we start, I would like to introduce the newest member of the family. This is little old Tully. Oh. Hello! Oh god. She is a full-bred border collie, about 9 weeks old at this point. Full of energy. Oh, and she's back to sleep. Maybe she's narcoleptic, who knows? Are you narcoleptic? Do you go sleep? Oh god. No, but she wants to be my videographer, I think. Hello. Hello. If yous are caught up on the past video, you'll know that this front bar has been a absolute pain in my rectum. I'm talking a 13-inch dragon right up the fucking arse. But today, I hope that changes. I intend this to be the last part before she gets wrapped and prepped to get mounted on. And for those who watched my last video doing work to this front bar, you might be thinking to yourself, hey, you're a fucking idiot for what you did. I tried using a hairdryer to mold out the corners to make them fit around the over fenders. Now, anyone with 2 brain cells will tell you that that will not work. Alright, don't think a hairdryer gets as hot as a heat gun. So, for those who are following me on TikTok and have seen my video of me working on this front bar, I just want to thank everyone who left a comment on that post, because now I actually have somewhere to go. I have a reason for making this video, alright, part number 3, and I have a couple of things that I can try out, ordering from reversible to irreversible. Depending on what works and what doesn't will determine how far we go. But, with that being said, where do we start off? So, as per the comments that I have seen, alright, the single most common comment that I got was heat molding. But, I've already tried that, as I said. My hairdryer, my DIY heat gun, my amazing piece of technology made even Einstein quake in his boots. And as Jeremy Clarkson once said, alright, you can almost hear my genius. But that's until it didn't work. So, what do you do after that? Well, obviously the only thing you can do is to actually buy a fucking heat gun. So, yes, I went out, I spent some clams, and we got ourselves a heat gun. Before getting into this, alright, before I need to remove this front bar yet again and do work to it, alright, that I will probably inevitably fuck up or it will not work, something more important needs to happen. As some of you may or may not be aware, I have started wrapping my S13 here, and she is about 90-95% done. Now obviously the front bar is what we're working on today, so that will need some bit of prep work before it gets wrapped, and that's why it is, 5% so less. However, it is missing a crucial part that sticks out like a sore thumb. Take note of my beautifully blue mirrors here, and how spanking blue they are. So yes, a part of today's job is to remove these and take them up to my mate who will wrap them, and so it will match the rest of the green car. Alright, so hopefully the camera picks it up, but what's annoying about getting these mirrors off here is that we need to remove this little plastic trim, which is obviously behind the door card. So I'm going to remove that little screw there. Hopefully that should give it enough flims to, for me to be able to tear that off. Oh, that's gone. Slide on out. I just realized it has the harness halfway down the door, so I'm going to take that off. Alrighty. So that's the little harness I needed to disconnect. Couldn't really reach it without taking the door card off, so bit of a pain in the ass. There you go. Number uno, collected. fuck me. Disconnect you. I think I might have broken you. That's a shame. Mirror number dos. It's getting a bit dark out, so I'm going to flip Sylvie around to the front ends inside here. And once we finish working on her, I will deliver these to my mate tonight. Alrighty, so now that we've got Sylvie in here, let's get these out. And my shot's still broken, so yay! I don't have anything to hold this up. Shit. I got a broom.
Oh, okay.
I swear, every time I take these off, right, take these lights off, take everything off to work on this bar, I always lose at least one bolt, right? So out of the 10 times that I've done this, I've lost like 10 different ones. Like I've lost these two up here, I've lost one of these headlight bolts, I've lost two of the fucking side ones over here for the corner lights. I don't know where they go. I lose one every single time. Alrighty. Let's open up this puppy now. I hope this does the job, because honestly, I got one other alternative which is sitting right there. Don't think the frame has in camera, no. So you'll see what that is afterwards, but got the heat gun. Alright, I'm going to blast the living shit out of this front bar, because honestly, I kind of just don't care anymore. It's pissing me off, and I just need to push it out. I just gotta hold that over a lot more. Come on, please, mold! I beg. I don't want to do any more work to you, please. I'm just doing Pilates at this point. I'll tell you what, this heat gun's not that good. Like, I swear the hairdryer I was using was hotter than this. I can just kind of hold this over myself and not get burned. I'll keep blasting the shit out of this. I hope it can take a little bit of shape. Even if it's just a little bit, you know. Come on. Alright, well, I'll be honest, I don't think that actually worked, like, in the slightest, but I'll put her on, I'll see what happens. It slides on at least, like, I don't know if that's just because of how I had the foam torn off though, but slides on like that and then eventually just pops off, but it's not the worst. Annoyingly, my camera died, but this actually marks a good halfway point. I'm going to go and deliver these mirrors to my mate before it gets too late, and when I come back, I can, well, I'll decide whether or not I keep trying to heat mold it, or whether or not I go to plan B. And plan B is staring right at me, looking pretty good right now. But I will let you guys know when I get back. We have arrived. Let's go and deliver these and get out of here. I don't know if you guys can see, he's got a little fella hanging on the back there. Hang on, buddy. I am back home and I am back to reevaluating what to do. Alright, so this is the situation that I'm in right now. This side over here, it isn't as bad as it was before. I don't know if that heat molding actually did its job, but or maybe it's just because I removed some of that foam on the inside here. It kind of somewhat sits on it like that. It will eventually push itself out given time, and that's just how it naturally sits, flared out a bit. B, on the other side here, this side sits perfect. Alright, it wraps around that over fender perfectly and it aligns perfectly with the corner light here. So, no dramas there. However, it sags on this side, alright, which is, you know, no bueno, not good. This up here needs to be, you know, looked at, and what I have in mind for that is basically when it's naturally sagging as it is now and I push it in, that drill hole that I've already made basically was made for that riv nut hole. So if we bump up the bar like that and get that nice and flush and push in this side here, the hole lines up a bit lower. So I'm going to drill a hole bit lower, and hopefully when that happens I can feed a zip tie through and the zip tie will hold it up, you know, and stop it from sagging down. But anyway, that was my train of thought. Otherwise, the alternative, I use some fiberglass here that I have, and by that I mean basically I would sand this entire back part here because it has a little, like a natural curve to it. I would apply fiberglass on it to build it up. So instead of it being, you know, how do I do this? Instead of it being curved like that, I'll build it up on that side and that face, so then it'll be nice and, you know, flush, be flat. But the back end will still be like that. And I would sand that back end over there so that the new fiberglass, the fresh fiberglass that I laid down, would then be straight. And then that would, you know, fit around the corner here. But it's a lot of work, and I don't know if I want to do that or if it's even worth doing. So personally, I think it might be better just to drill those holes, or that hole, sorry, a bit lower and just hold it up with a zip tie, and I can bolt in the other side. But on top of that, I need to drill out the holes here for the indicator units. I need to get those put in. And I also got to do the wiring for them so they actually work. But I'll pull this bar off now and I will drill those holes for them. I think I might even just tear off some of this foam that's kind of getting in the way. It keeps just building up. In hindsight, maybe I should have got like some real thin stuff, 1mm foam, and I think I should have put it on the over fenders instead. Because doing this, it just keeps, you know, interfering. It's just too thick. Alright, let's drill this hole. Oh, fuck. Smells great. Alright. Very nice. Alright guys, so today I'm gonna go pick up those mirrors, stick them back on and do a little finishing touches to the front bar. However, before going off, I need myself a morning coffee. There we go, freshly wrapped mirrors, and they look amazing. So I am pumped to finally get these on. I don't think we'll have any more blue sticking out now. So from this point on, we just need to wrap the front bar, maybe next week sometime, and then I'll have a completely green uniform car. So yeah, can't wait. But let's get home, let's chuck these mirrors back on, and let's put the front bar back on and reconstruct the front end of the car, because yeah, I left that all out last time. We're back home. So we have the mirrors here. The lighting's not very good. It's not doing them too much justice, but they're very nice. We're gonna whack these bad boys on and construct the whole front end again. Put the front bar on. Hopefully the hole that we drilled last night does what it's supposed to do. Alright? In theory, the front bar shouldn't be sagging anymore, and it should be holding its own weight up. And yeah, look, hopefully I don't need to do any more work to it. Fingers crossed. Alrighty. Number 2. Number 3. Alright, so I've got it all back on. I've even got the indicator units in there. Nothing's been done with those that are just sitting in there, but it has tempted me to get the fuck it we ball mentality and just drill these holes and pray for the best. So yeah, I'm gonna drill these holes with indicator units and hopefully they work. Otherwise, I don't know. Alright, let's see if these actually fit. Just have to hope that these are aligned and don't need any more shaving. Yes, sir. That's what we were looking for. Very nice. Alrighty. Now we can do the next one. I'm going to back Sylvie out, do a little 180. More light out that way so I guess you guys can see more. Suppose now we can actually see these mirrors, can't we? Look at them. They're amazing. The whole car is amazing. It's all one colour. Apart from, you know what, but still, regardless, that looks amazing. And she just needs a very desperate wash. We have to mark out these holes. This side actually I think fits a lot better than the other, but just kind of wiggle them around. Should be able to get a rough idea where they go. Yes sir. Number 2. Yes sir. Whoa. Alright, so what I'm picking up, and hopefully you can hear me and the wind's not going to brutally molest my mic, is that you can see here on the back that it's not all the way in, and it's actually rubbing up against the outside. So, to put it simply, the slot that it goes into is really small. What I can do is grab some sandpaper / a file. Basically I can sand up here and along the bottom, but like on the interface, so that gives it more of a slot to fit into. Because at the moment they're kind of protruding out. And it goes for both of them. Probably the left one, sorry, right one more so, but this one looks a bit better. See there, it's not really all the way in. So that's what I'm kind of thinking of doing. But regardless, she is somewhat all put together and no longer in the blue. So I'm, what would you call that, 95-ish% there. Just a bit more prep work on the front bar and we can get that one wrapped. And yeah, she will finally be in all uniform colour, which will be amazing. It will be great. So cannot wait. The front bar placement, it's not perfect. It does have its issues, and like the lights are all kind of a bit wonky and whatever else. But I don't know. It's Sylvie. What do you expect? It's not going to be 100%. It's not going to be perfect, but as good as it can get. You know, the little sag there is all fixed up from how we drill that little hole in there. So zip tie and the hole's doing its job, which is good. But there is a bit of a headlight gap there between it in the fender, the front bar, sorry. Nah, it's whatever. I'm happy with that for now. We'll come back to it eventually. Alrighty, so game plan for today. Come over here. what we have evaluated what needs work. Number one, we are going to sand the inside of these units here, or the spaces here, so it gives the indicating housing some more room to work in. It's not as tight, so it doesn't have those gaps down the side as you saw. Number two, we are attempting to make this side lower so it matches the other side with such a huge gap. So what that involves is, if the camera can or can't pick it up, I don't know, here has a bump up in the fiberglass here. There's a bit of a ridge that comes up, and that's more on this side. The further left you go over here, the more it actually flattens out right there. So that is what gives the impression that it has a gap between the light and the front bar. So can't add fiberglass on that side, so we're going to sand off this side and probably just along the entire front bar. Doing that will make it all equal, and from the front, hopefully both sides are going to have a little gap between the headlight and the front bar. And then all that matters, all that's left is doing a once over with sandpaper, maybe 1400, and we can get her wrapped. So yeah, that's all that's left. There's another thing we should probably touch on is this corner. So managed to get all this level, but from the shape of the fiberglass, this corner sticks out and isn't flush with the over fender here. So whether or not we file this side back and make it nice and flush, or do something to it, I don't know. It will just be irreversible, so it's whether or not I want to commit to that. Alright, so I reckon we take this out where it's not going to get dust everywhere. Hello!
She's gonna help you fix it. Yep, she knows how to fix it.
You wanna sand it for me? So that is what I'm gonna need spot putty for. It's to build up those little holes in there before the wrap, so...
Okay.
Shit! Well, whatever. So, what we've managed to do is we have sanded back the top part of the front bar here, and we've rounded off the side on the left side so it sits nice and flush with the corner. In a change of events, I've gotten the sudden urge to want to do some fiberglass work. Alright, so I've got the kit here, alright, got everything I need, got the fiberglass. And I am going to sand down this side corner here on the front bar, and I'm going to build it up with some fiberglass. So all this is going to be down to the fiberglass, and I'll lay some more down. Once that cures and sets, I'm going to sand the inside. Over here, I'm going to sand that back. And what should happen is with the new fiberglass, it will build up on this side here. It'll be nice and straight. See how it has a curve there? It'll be more straight like that. I will sand from this side, and that will give me a straight edge. And that way, when I go to wrap around this corner here, it will sit nice and flush. That is just the theory, though. We will put it into practice and see how it ends up. Alright. Fiberglass can't be laid down on a gel coat here. It won't actually stick to it, or won't adhere. You'll be shooting yourself in the foot by doing that. So we're going to sand off this whole gel coat on this face here, specifically around where it dips in, and from that point on we can then put some fiberglass down, let it cure, and work our way from there. Clean this off with some wax and grease remover. Make sure it is right down to the fiberglass. Alright, so it looks like I need to go a smidge bit deeper. Fiberglass on the inside there, but you still got the gel coat on the outside, so a bit more sanding. The fiberglass here, or the fiberglass kit, and honestly God, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Alright, reading the instructions because this is the first time I've done anything remotely close to fiberglass work. But it all seems pretty self-explanatory from what I've seen. I've already sanded back the front bar where the fiberglass will be laid down on, so now it just comes to cutting up the shape, a bit of excess in the fiberglass, and mixing up the right portions of the resin and the catalyst. So 250ml resin will cover approximately 0.25 square meters of fiberglass matting. 250ml is quite a bit. That's all the way up to the top there. I don't think I'll need that much for the amount that I'm doing, unless I'm cutting multiple sheets, so maybe. Better safe than sorry. So 250ml of resin. For every 50ml of resin, there is, what, 20 to 40 drops of the catalyst depending on the temperature of day. Say we're in the middle, 30. 30 times 5, that's 150 drops of this. Does that even make sense? 150 drops. Well, I will cut up the fiberglass here and get that ready to be laid down, but I imagine I don't want to be doing that barehanded, so get these gloves on, shall we? Get a few layers out of this. Well, that stench is potent, so I'm putting my mask on. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. We've got them all cut up here. I've got little bigger pieces for the base, and then they get a bit smaller because when it curves in like that, it's a bit deeper at some points, and there's no point having the same length putting it on top of all, because it's just going to make the same shape on top of each other. The idea is you get it so it puts the shape on, and then you slowly get smaller and smaller, and eventually it'll be nice and flush. So I'm going to pour 250ml of this in, and then 30 drops of the catalyst, and from that point we'll stir it and hope for the best. So now I need to put 150 drops of this in, which seems unrealistic to track. I don't think I'm going to fucking count 150, so I don't know. I'll wing it. It's 20 grams, so what? I need to put 3/4 of this in. I have no way of knowing where the 3/4 mark is though. I think I've probably royally fucked this. But whatever, we're gonna assume that's enough. Stir this bad boy. She's coming out cool. Super low. Yeah. Definitely getting healthier. No. Oh. Fuck's sake. So, didn't actually do what I wanted it to do. Put that first layer on, and I don't think it was adhering properly to the front bar here. And so, with every extra layer that I put on, it kept sliding off like it was fucking lubed up. Look, it's not the greatest, and it's still not even attached. It's just fuck. I think I'm just gonna have to get rid of it. Oh my god. And that's even smoking. Put too much of the hardener in there, so the thermogenic response just made the fucking brush start burning, and same with the actual jar itself. Overall, not good. Not good at all. So I'm gonna remove this, and we're gonna start back at base 1 and not do any fiberglass in this thing, because evidently I can't do it. Right, well, that that fiberglass job was a complete and utter failure. That did not go as planned at all. At the end of the day, I learnt something. I'm no fiberglass connoisseur, no idea how it fucking works. Still don't, I guess. If I were to do it, maybe I would just do one sheet of fiberglass at a time, let it cure, do another one on top of that, etc, etc, instead of doing it all in one go. I think that's what I learned from this, and I also think that there's no point doing any more fiberglass work to that front bar specifically. I think I'll leave it where it is now. It was working before, I was in the mood for maybe doing some fiberglass work, because, I don't know, I had a random burst of motivation to do it, but didn't work out, won't work out, not going to do it. Alright, so leave it at that. Once all that extra fiberglass on the outside hardens, all the strands, I'm going to sand that back, get it back to the condition it was before, and yeah, I think it'll be ready to send up and get wrapped. So I think I might do a bit of Bondo work to fill up those pinholes that I exposed earlier. Don't think I'll do that on camera though, can't be fucked. Alright, I'll just do it in my own time. But yeah, she's basically ready, regardless of whether or not I fucked up the fiberglass. And while it's getting wrapped over the next week, I won't have any opportunity to be able to drive Sylvie's, so she's going to be sitting here for the next week until I get that sorted. But the following week, I've actually got a special video in mind, and I'm not going to spoil it now, but it's a pretty good one. It'll be pretty long as well, I think, but it involves picking up a certain part from a very far away land. We'll leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed my little catastrophe of a video and my catastrophic skills at fiberglassing something. Evidently I cannot do that, so I'm gonna have to learn to do that another time on another piece of fiberglass or something where I can practice on, because I need to learn how to properly fiberglass something for future reference or any other future builds, because that is just ridiculous.